if you're in the video and you didn't sign a release, it's obtainable. The video is rights are obtainable by all parties involved. I think that's why he was talking about the release thing.
I don't think that that's necessarily how. I don't think that's how it works.
I don't know.
Because when you
That's not how it works in the sense that it's a legally gray area because no one has ever actually tested the boundaries of the legal system on who would be protected in this regard. That's the difference.
It does get
maybe
it gets in. Yeah, I mean that's.
I don't know. Maybe I don't think that's
know.
how it works, but maybe again. So maybe yeah. But there's enough room, right? To. But again, you can't sue Adin Ross unless you can prove that he did that knowing it was wrong, and I don't think you can do that because it is his.
Hold on. There is no precedence on this. However, Adin did very clearly go, "Oh, fuck you. My editor actually targeted you deliberately." No. The stole one is not me. The stole one is a different person. Is a different content creator. The clip of him celebrating that he stole from a different content creator is internet anarchist.
I hate to say it because Hasan is right. He's right. The problem is the copyright law gives no protection to people like Hasan. But in terms of who owns that recording, I mean, technically it would be Adin Ross who owns it. It was filmed on his channel. It has his watermarks on it. I asked Hasan, I was like, damn, apparently Hasan didn't film it. And so he was using Adin Ross's clip.
Recording of it, yeah.
Now, if Hasan filmed the same exact footage, but he filmed it, it would be his footage. XQC recorded his, then that one's his footage.
He's right. He's right about this. That's why I'm saying he's right about this. He owns the recording, but not the rights to it. He owns the recording, which is why, but it's me appearing in the recording, and there's no release, which is precisely the reason why it's up to debate on how YouTube enforces it.
Theoretically, right? Or at least there's a good faith enough assumption to where.
I literally said the same thing and you yelled at me. You probably didn't use those exact same terms.
You can't accuse them of.
And I also, on top of that, edited the recording as well. So either all three profit or no one else does. All three profit or no one else does. That's so. This doesn't even make sense. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I did dispute it. Yes, we'll see what happens with YouTube. You can't film an NBA game and live stream it from the arena. That's actually a beautiful take. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Except there is already previously established precedent that makes it so that you are not allowed to do that. Because again, every aspect of that is licensed fucking content. Do you understand? This is a fucking Discord call, brother. Like, let's say LeBron James uses a fucking clip of him dunking, okay, from the ESPN live stream, okay? And then ESPN sues him and says, you're not allowed to use that. Even in that regard, while it's incredibly fucked up that the NBA and the ESPN sued him, they still at least have legal protection to do so. Okay? They have legal protection to do so. Adin does not. That's the difference. So what Ethan is talking about with respect to DMCA is that, like, he's saying that DMCA doesn't protect people in this regard, and he's not wrong about that. Okay? But that doesn't change the reality that, I still have ownership over my own likeness in that regard. And yeah, by the way, there is an agreement when you buy tickets also that prevents you from doing that. The unfortunate problem is that, like I said, because no one has ever done this, this is one of those things where we got to stop pretending this is anything but completely personal. Adin is sitting around stewing in his own body odor with his kickbucks, focusing on whoever he perceives as an enemy. Fuck him, I wish him the worst. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not doing this because he's like, oh man, this is both legally permissible and the right thing to do. He's doing this because he's a scumbag doing it maliciously, 100%. He has admitted as much. So for you to turn around and make it seem like that's not the case is really stupid, especially because of how stupid Adin is. So why the fuck would you do that? But not only that, but also on top of that, because no one has ever been so fucking stupid and malicious, as far as I know, I don't think this has ever been an issue. I don't think it's ever happened to two content creators of like similar size where they at least have like, the power to fight back against it, is what I mean. When you worked at 2IT, did every guest attending or calling in have to sign a release form? Does everyone who calls into a majority report sign a release form afterwards or use their voice in the videos? I feel like the answer is a hard no because it'd be so broken otherwise. Yeah, it's not. That's not the case. The closest thing I can think of is the athletes in the World Cup or Super Bowl who try and repost clips of them popping off during those games, but the NFL and FIFA say no and block those posts. Legally, they're in the right, but morally, it's yucky. Legally, they're in the right. It's legally permissible. This is different because there is no established contract on who has ownership over those rights, though. Who has ownership over their own likeness in this regard. Whereas, like, the NBA clearly does have ownership over the likeness and utilizing the likeness of LeBron James or any other athlete. Those are players with contracts. I am not a player with a contract. I am not contracted to the Adin Ross broadcast. That would be ridiculous for me not to be able to utilize this footage. That's my point. For the record, the reason why they have those laws is specifically so, yeah, and MR and TYT own those clips, right? Yes, Majority Report and TYT own those clips. They could get into a shitload of trouble if someone was like, I didn't do a fucking release form. There could be they could be held up in legal trouble, is what I'm saying, if they don't actually sign release forms. Like, you could literally do that. You could just be like, oh, well, that's really fucked up. I didn't know it was going to be distributed in this way, for example. This is a ton of history, just not on YouTube. This shit has happened in music forever. You own your portion of the content no matter what. The percentage, all that matters in music. How much does your likeness make the content?